Chapter 3. Joe opened his eyes. He was lying in a landscape of rolling blue-green hills. Not far away, he could see a cluster of bizarre buildings that were made of some kind of gossamer material. They appeared to be crafted from air and light. Suddenly, Joe was surrounded by small souls. They poked at him curiously, like a group of unruly children. Now, said a calm voice above them. Let's give the mentors some room. Joe raised his eyes, and he found himself looking up at the strangest person he had ever seen, though he doubted that person was the right word. She was tall as a tree, and looked as if she had been drawn with one continuous line, or twisted from a single piece of wire. She didn't really look like a human being, more like a doodle of one. With the tolerant manner of a camp counselor, she herded the rowdy group of fuzzy little beings away from Joe. Sorry, she told him. New souls. Is this heaven? Joe asked. It's easy to get turned around, the counselor told Joe. This isn't the great beyond. It's the great before. The great before? Joe repeated, feeling more confused than ever. You must be lost, the counselor said. I'll get you back to the group. Without warning, the counselor suddenly changed shape, becoming a large, strange beast that also appeared to be a bus. Come on, little souls, the counselor said. The new souls climbed aboard. Not knowing what else to do, Joe followed. The counselor immediately set off across the field, carrying them toward some buildings. Welcome to the U seminar, she said. You are in for a treat. She stopped in front of a building that had a starburst symbol over the door. First stop, the Excitable Pavilion. She pointed to some new souls. You four, in you go. The new souls entered the building. Seconds later, they emerged from the other side, bouncing like kids on pogo sticks and hollering, Woohoo! The counselor moved on to the next building. The symbol over the door looked like a face with its nose in the air. You five, she said, dropping off another group. You'll be aloof. When these new souls passed through that building, they returned with their arms folded, noses held high. Wait a minute, Joe said. This is where personalities come from? Of course. Do you think people are just born with them? The counselor smiled, as if the idea amused her. So how do they get to Earth, then? Joe asked. They use the Earth portal, the counselor replied. Ahead, Joe saw a number of hazy rings that formed a sort of platform. Through the hole in the middle, Joe could see planet Earth far below. New souls crowded around the hole. Cheered on by counselors, they were leaping off the platform like swimmers, diving toward the blue-green planet. Earth, Joe thought. It was right there. Once they get a complete personality, of course, the counselor added. She turned to glance at Joe, but he was gone. At the edge of the Earth portal, Joe squeezed through the crowd of new souls. He plunged off the edge and found himself free-falling through space, surrounded by new souls. Woo-hoo! Joe cried as he plummeted toward Earth. Wham! Joe struck another invisible barrier and bounced off. As the other souls sailed on toward Earth, Joe found himself redirected and plopped back into the U seminar. What happened? Joe thought. He hurried back to the Earth portal and leaped again. He struck the barrier once more and landed back in the U seminar. Over and over, he tried to leap to earth, only to find himself back where he'd started. As Joe sat, panting in frustration, the counselor passed by again. She had returned to her human-like form. When she saw Joe, she paused. "You sure get lost a lot." She turned and called out to another counselor, leading a different group of souls. "Hello, Jerry. Got a lost mentor for you." "Thanks, Jerry," the other counselor replied. "Look," Joe said to the first counselor, "I don't think I'm supposed to be here." "I understand," she said gently. "Mentoring isn't for everyone. You're more than welcome to opt out." The counselor waved her hands, and a hole appeared in the atmosphere. She had opened a portal to another dimension as easily as opening a window. Through the hole, Joe could see a bright, white light. The great beyond hummed ominously. Joe backed away. "Actually, on second thought, the mentoring sounds like fun." Joe grabbed a pre-written name tag from a table and followed a group of souls into a building. He had no idea what he'd just signed up for. Whatever it was, it couldn't be worse than what awaited him in the great beyond.